Hey everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to another review. I am terribly behind in doing the reviews for DC Comics Dark Knight's Metal, and I haven't even done the first two. That was the prelude to the entire event, so I'm going to get on the ball as much as I can. This is Dark Days, The Forge, Part 1 of the Prelude. All this is essentially a Batman story with the Justice League thrown in. Now, the cover is really nice. It's got what looks like to be a statue, which I think could be like an evil Batman. And of course we've got Bruce Wayne down here, Batman, looking up. And here's what appears to be the Gotham City Police. And somebody, I think down here in the bottom in the left-hand corner, raising a Batman flag. And there's another Batman insignia. And there's another Batman insignia in the lower right-hand corner. I did not notice those till just now, which is very interesting. But anyway, not a piece of space is wasted here. Every piece of space is taken up, and that's very important with a comic book cover, because as I've said with some past comic books that I've reviewed, sometimes there's a big gap of the cover which just isn't used, but it's given a different color, and this has been particularly true of the Hulk comic books. But anyway, this cover leaves the imagination to wonder what's going on. This is and what you're going to see are variant covers to this issue, which are pretty good, I must say. Now we get into the story. This is narration, by the way, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit more so you can see. This is narrated by Carter Hall. He says, "There is a feeling you get at the beginning of an adventure. You feel it in your veins, the channels your heart starts pounding, beating only for discovery. My name is Carter Hall, and this is my final journal. I have lived many lives, but still remember that night like it was yesterday. A young boy had spied something in the sky, a light, and we rode out together. My princess, my advisor, our guards, all to see what it was. We could feel it in the air, the start of something big. Something was coming, something wondrous. A message from the gods, perhaps? A sign?" And this is Carter Hall. This looks like ancient Egypt. And so this sets the stage for us. He's not seen much in this event, but he's here at the beginning, so I'm inclined to believe that he'll be there at the end. And this is what we see on the next page. This giant ship coming out of the sky. He says, "But it was no sign. It was a clue to the greatest mystery in the history of mankind, and it was written in metal." And of course, they're all struck by the sight of this weird ship. And then we're back to the present day, where it says, "Now, the Bermuda Triangle. Record message." This is a scientist. He's saying, "The tremor started 40 minutes ago. and have only grown worse. I don't know if the rest of the research team made it out in time. It's too late for me. The lava will engulf the base in minutes. I stayed to protect what we've just learned. I keep reading and rereading the data, hoping it comes together, hoping what I thought I saw wasn't true. People need to know. People need to understand. There's something wrong with the Earth's core. There's something in the metal. And all of a sudden, whoosh! A giant hand appears out of nowhere. And it's Batman! He says, Dr. Madison, the only way out is through the volcano. Get in. But Batman? I'm surprised that Scott Snyder did not put in here, come with me if you want to live. But hey, that's how Batman got in there, is through the Earth's core. Using this suit, which is covered in lava. And then he's going back out, and the doctor says, "Oh God, oh God!" Pressure mounting. That's that big suit talking. Batman says, "Compensate. We just need to break through into the open ocean. Temperature surpassing safe levels. Suit will not hold." Batman says, "I said compensate, damn it!" And then the suit starts to crumble. And here comes Aquaman. And yes, he's wearing the the orangish top, even though it doesn't look as orange as it should be. Aquaman, get him to the surface, Batman says. What about you? I need to retrieve the data card from my pressure suit. Aquaman says, the lava flow will consume that behemoth in seconds. Leave it. I can't. There. So he gets the data card. And Aquaman has no idea what's so important. And he says, the others? My friends are pulling them to shore now. No casualties. And he probably means the Justice League, because the Atlanteans, most of them don't like the surface world. Thank you, Aquaman. Batman, this was a Wayne Enterprises black site. An off-the-books drilling operation in my domain, because Aquaman is king of the seas. He says, you weren't just keeping this hidden from the surface world. You were keeping it hidden from Atlantis, from me. What are you looking for, Bruce? And look at Batman's face. He doesn't want to say. And then, over here, look at that expression. You only see the eyes. He says, with what I know is locked underneath Atlantis, is that really a question you want to ask me? What we need to be asking is simpler than that, Arthur. What are they? And this one over here, I'm not sure who this is. I can't remember. He can look all he wants, but he won't find out. Lady Blackhawk to control. Bring me home. Oh yeah, I remember now. She will play a part in the story, but not just now. The next site we go to is Mogo, home of the Green Lantern Corps. One of the Guardians summons Hal Jordan, and because he senses a disturbance, and says he has a private mission just for Hal Jordan that is of paramount importance. And it says this mission must remain secret from your fellow Lanterns, particularly your fellow Earth men. And so Hal Jordan is quite perplexed. He says this isn't going to be one of those happy secret missions, is it? Got that. There are rumblings in every corner of the universe, whispers of a stirring in the dark. A terrible truth is coming to light on your home planet, and we must not let it. I like how the artwork shows how serious the Guardian is. And Green Lantern says, wait, these are the coordinates? This is the source of the threat? And he says, is there a problem, Hal Jordan? And Hal's very perplexed because the coordinates lead to Wayne Manor in Gotham City. And so he's saying below his breath, no problem at all. Like he's been given the coordinates to go to one of his good friends' home because one of the Guardians said it's of utmost importance, paramount. And we know the paramount is a very strong word. And so here he's flying over Wayne Manor because that's where he's sent. And then the story gets kind of funny. He arrives in the Batcave. This super secret place that Batman rarely ever lets anybody in. He has this... I'm not sure if this is where he got this dinosaur, but this particular item in the Batcave has been there ever since the Batcave has been around. Well, not in the comic books, not in the television show. Hal Jordan says, there's more spooky crap in this place every time I visit. Alright, let's find out what Githyanth's robes up in a bunch and get the hell out of this mausoleum. And then this guy comes in. I can't remember his name. I think his name's Duke. I keep forgetting his name. He's not a character that's used very often. He says, I don't think so. And, gives Hal a really good kick to the chin. He says, sorry, Green Lantern. I'm on strict orders from Batman. Nobody is allowed in the cave right now. Not even family. And, he's not even family. So he's got to guard the Batcave, And then Green Lantern reacts kind of funny because he doesn't even know who this guy is. He says, yeah, that's not suspicious at all. And Duke says, I thought I read that little ring of yours didn't work on Yellow. And Green Lantern says, it does if you know what you're doing. Now, there is a specific reason, I believe, that the ring worked. And it would not be revealed again until Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 32, which came out just recently. It's because that ring that Hal Jordan wears is no ordinary Green Lantern power ring. And he's revealed the details about this ring previously, about a year ago or so, in Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. And Duke is confused. He says, that doesn't make any sense. And over here, Hal Jordan says, glad to see Batman still recruiting teenagers. You're new, aren't you? What's your name? Yellow Robin? Canary? Big Bird? I love the banter between Hal Jordan and Duke. Duke says, all you need to know is that Batman left me here with a job to do. And that if you don't get out of here right now, you're going to regret it. You're doing the voice and everything. Seriously, kid, what's your name? Duke Thomas. I don't have a code name yet. He says, what are you doing? Scanning for something. Because Hal Jordan is on a mission. A secret mission. He says, there. Hey, come back here. because Hal Jordan has found something. And let's see. Then we go to the campus 1 mile beneath Philadelphia. I forget who we're seeing here. But, oh yeah, this is a Ra's al Ghul, I believe. Or is it Ra's al Ghul? Yeah, I believe so. This is like a view screen. Her name is Elaine Thomas. She seems charming. She was once, before the Joker toxins ripped her mind apart, before her son Duke had her moved into Wayne Manor. I made her the offer many years ago. The offer to join a secret battle that stretched back to the dawn of time. An offer to live forever. She didn't take you up on it, I'm guessing, the dude says. So why is the great and powerful immortal man walking down memory lane? This guy says. Miss Thomas reactivated briefly a few weeks ago. I've been monitoring to make sure she hasn't revealed anything she shouldn't to anyone she shouldn't. But she remains incapable of divulging our secrets, no matter how hard the Batman pries. We needn't worry about her. Our secrecy is paramount to our success. The world of public heroes is careening toward a crisis unlike anything they've seen before, and it will be up to the immortal men to preserve mankind's future, if any of us survive long enough to see it. Now, this is not a fighting sequence, this is just dialogue. And I'm guessing this is Miss Thomas? Maybe how she once was? I'm not sure. And so we go back to another scenario, and this is Carter Hall narrating again. And this image is when he was once Hawkman and had a companion called Hawk Girl. He says, from that night on, that fateful night in the Egyptian desert, my story is well known. The ship was made of a mysterious substance called ninth metal. It gave me, my wife, and our immortal enemy Hathset eternal life, sending us into a cycle of reincarnation. Shiera and I fighting on the side of good, Hathset on that of evil. Now notice, this I think might be a little continuity error here, because he calls her Shiera, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right. But this one here, the woman, Hawk Girl, she will be revealed in the first issue of Dark Knight's Metal, and she will be a totally different person. I'm guessing it's because, well, as you will see in Dark Knight's Metal, she and her husband or companion are locked into an endless cycle of reincarnation. In the story, he says, we were born hundreds, even thousands of times over, cast against each other. But the truth is, sometimes in those dark moments, those moments in between lives, before being born again, I would catch glimpses of something bigger, a mystery behind our lives, our story. And this is him, sort of reminiscing to the past of everything that he remembers. Well, not everything, but some of what he remembers. And that's him, Carter Hall, right here. And then we see this page, which is exactly like the cover. And he's still narrating, and there's that Batman type statue with the... No, that's not the Gotham City Police. That's Bat patrols or Bat copters or something or other. He says something terrifying, something on a scale I've never seen before. A dream, no, not a dream, a nightmare, echoing through the metal. And then down here, I believe this is, who is this? Is this Batman? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that is in the bed. So I begin following a mystery of my own, something I told no one about until now. Here in these pages. Now this in the bed, that's Carter Hall, and that with him is his wife, consort, partner, Shiera, the one who is always reincarnated with him. Okay, now I'm on this. Now I'm back. I'm back in the groove. And then we're transported to the lunar Batcave on the moon. Yes, there's a Batcave on the moon. And this is a nice way to show that Batman's transporting up to the moon. Not necessarily like, they did in Star Trek, but it gets the job done. You see that whoosh, or that whoosh. And Carter Hall says, a mystery that would take me places I never dreamed. Batman says, computer, send a message to Lucius. And Lucius is the man who basically helps Batman with the day-to-day workings of Wayne Enterprises. Black Site 14 is down. I want Site 15 up and running within the week. Keep this one away from the oceans. Create uplink to the Shadow Drive along adding new geological data for comparisons. So, it was as bad as you thought it would be? Someone is trying to sneak up on him. And so, immediately, Batman reacts, throwing out a batarang. But it's not anybody that he needs to worry about. It's Mr. Terrific. Yeah, that's the guy's name, Mr. Terrific. And he's funny. He says, what did my T-spheres ever do to you? Batman says, throw off the calibration of my computers. I didn't realize you were back in our universe, Michael. This mystery of yours has made me a little queasy about crossing back and forth. It seemed time I came home for good. But Mr. Terrific keeps his promises. Here's all the data I could gather from the other world. So he's been somewhere else, another universe, another reality possibly. Batman looks at him and says, have you told anyone what we've been working on either Earth? So yeah, this guy has been on another Earth doing research for Batman. He says, I didn't put fair play on my jacket for laughs. I know what's at stake. When the Batman comes and says he needs a second set of eyes to help see the big picture, you don't break that trust. It's good to have friends like that. And so Batman reacts, and now, how is that picture looking? I'll be honest, Batman, I have an IQ of 179, but I have no idea what any of this means. The frequency is being generated across the world is growing stronger, but it's not steady at all. It seems random, like a compass spinning wildly out of control. He remarks. So they walk down to another part of the moon Batcave, and Mr. Terrific is like he knows what Batman's thinking, and he has a good idea. He said, that sparked something, didn't it? There's nothing on this earth that I know of that could get you a clean reading on this data. It would take something massive, something practically cosmic in scale. Yes, it will, and where it leads me, there might not be any coming back. And Michael, I'm going to need you to do something while I follow this path to the end. I've already extracted the molecules I need from his body. Now, who's he talking about? Batman says, we all agreed he was too unstable, that there was no end to what he could do if we weren't careful. But I'm going to need him for what comes next. It's time to let him out of the box. I didn't get this the first time I read this comic book a few months ago. And it's like Mr. Terrific knows exactly what he's talking about. He says, you're damn right it is. And I think this is what they're talking about. Now, this looks like an egg. This must be the person that Batman was talking about, who said that was unstable, because that must be the person who he extracted the molecules from, and he was unstable, and he's going to need him, this egg. Now, I know who this egg is, because if you look closely, if you're a fan of comic books, heck, even if you're a fan of the Super Friends cartoon and everything that came thereafter, you're probably going to recognize the colors: red, black, yellow. There was one member that had those very colors and was known as the comic relief of the group. And so I'm not going to spoil it, because that's not nice, but it just occurred to me what my friend John, who runs Purple Earth Comics here in Huntington, West Virginia, has been saying to me. He said to me twice that a certain individual in DC Comics has been regarded by Batman, if I remember John correctly, as being the most powerful being in the DC Comics universe. So they need that weirdo egg. So anyway, we go back to the Batcave, and after that drama, we get to see Hal Jordan and Duke Thomas, both of them, they're searching this mysterious part of the Batcave. And Hal Jordan uses his ring as a way to guide through the darkness. He says, seriously, only Batman would have a secret cave inside his secret cave. I gotta laugh at that. And Duke said, I told you, you're not supposed to be here. What is this place? Hal says. And then a voice out of nowhere says, "Oh, I can clear that up for you." And Duke's shocked too. He says, "Don't look at me. I didn't say anything." And so Hal Jordan uses his ring. "Ring, how many life signatures ahead?" Zzz, cannot comply. Zzz, interference. This doesn't make any sense. It wouldn't, would it? A mystery never does at first. And that's true. If you're presented with a mystery, it's there to be solved. All the answers are not spelled out for you. That's why it's called a mystery. Mystery? Oh yes, our friend with the pointy ears has been following it for years now. Alfred, is that you? And let me see. Yeah, here we go. The voice continues. It all started with a tooth, a metal tooth, that could bring the dead back to life. The bedrock of an organization that stretched back centuries. And Duke guesses. The Court of Owls, right? Dick? You know, Dick Grayson. I mean, if you're not Alfred, you have to be... You see, a metal shouldn't be able to do what this electrum could do. No compound of gold and silver could make the dead Talons walk again. And so Batman and his thread, and he pulled, and he extracted something from the metal, a strange substance he had never seen before. A metal that science couldn't explain. Ah, Hal says. What's wrong? My ring, it's burning. Now this is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I do not know why, but Dr. Fate, he is a character in the DC Comics universe, and he is still alive in the DC Comics universe, yet, right here, we see that Batman has his helmet. He also has the trident of Aquaman and the bracelets of Wonder Woman. Or are these items from these individuals of the very world that Batman lives in? Or are they from another reality, another universe? Another Earth, perhaps. Oh, you can feel it, can't you? The power. So consumed he, and it consumed him. What was this strange metal? What was its connection to the owls? Why did it share an energy signature with so many of the most powerful artifacts on the planet? And he's, I think, referring to Dr. Fate's helmet here, Aquaman's trident, and the bracelets of Wonder Woman. Yet, it's strange because Dr. Fate still possesses the helmet, Aquaman still possesses the trident, and Wonder Woman still possesses her bracelets. So I'm thinking these three items have to be from another Earth. And the voice says, and so he formed the first team, the first of many tasked with investigating all this. A team that could move outside Batman's usual realm of influence. And then we're given an image. And I only recognize one of these people See, there's that I don't recognize the guy in blue to the left. That's Batman, of course. I'm not sure who this is next to Batman. I'm guessing it might be Static Shock. If it is, what's up with the weird costume? And then next to him, that's got to be Katana. And I have no idea who the blonde is here. And the guy to the far right, he sort of looks like a kind of Flash, but I'm not sure. And the voice says, together these outsiders. Wait a minute. There used to be a comic book called Batman and the Outsiders years ago. Together these outsiders, I think there was or was it Batman and the Outlaws? I can't remember right now. Anyway, the voice says, together these outsiders would operate without the knowledge of the Justice League, the government, or even his precious Bat family, uncovering more hidden truths about the metals. Wait a second, Duke says. Batman has a black ops team? And Hal remarks, something's really wrong in here. I've been to every corner of the universe, and my ring's never done this before. We should fall back. And that voice says, oh no, no, you can't do that. I've been dying for a chance to see you both face to face. We're all connected, you see. I was hoping someone would come meddling. It's been so lonely down here. And you've got to wonder who this is that's sort of guiding them through the darkness, because they're following that voice. And Duke says, look, I'm done kidding around. We're talking about Batman. You think I don't know he has secrets? If he's been putting together some kind of mystery for years and he hasn't told me, he has a reason. And the voice says, oh, you can't turn back now. The next bit's the best part. It all has to do with a liquid metal, shimmering in green. A metal that changed everything. They called it Dionism. Dionism? But he wasn't the only one who found it, was he? And Hal's getting angry here. He says, what the hell is going on in here? Who are you? Oh, I think he's starting to put the pieces together, just like I did. And you can see Hal is getting really upset. And they keep following, they keep listening and following the voice. You see, he was dragged into this world for a reason. Same reason I'm sure your celestial bosses sent you digging for answers. Show yourself! Because Batman is getting closer to the truth. Zzz. Cannot comply. Zzz. Anomaly detected. Zzz. Ah! My arm's on fire. Let's go back to the cave. I can bring in the League. Something's very wrong here. No, Duke says. We keep going. Oh, Mr. Green Lantern, are you afraid? The voice says. I don't get afraid. Oh, I think you do. I think we all do. It's all in that moment of discovery, when you're about to learn something you will never be able to unlearn. I know that feeling. I really do. Something that puts all the pieces together, and you finally see the truth, and the world changes. And you know it'll never go back the way it was before. But if you're so very brave, then just open the door. I know what the voice is saying, because I've been there before. I've felt the exact same way. Once your mind is enlightened, once you've learned the truth, and you're no longer shrouded in doubt, life changes. And so I just want to make sure I didn't accidentally skip over a page. Okay. Now, we go back to, I believe this is ancient Egypt. Carter Hall, this is from his journal, wrote, "You don't even realize when it happens. One minute you're following the clues, and the next they're pulling you forward, dragging you. For years I studied nth metal alone, trying to unlock the secrets of its abilities. What I came to understand was that it was conducting energy, powerful energy from somewhere beyond my understanding. I dug deeper, followed every clue I could find," and that's his helmet right there on the left in that casing. I think that's his. And I think the one in the middle was Sherr's, and the bottom one, maybe that's another one of his. He says, until one day I got a glimpse, and those are the 3 markers of the 3 tribes I believe mentioned in the beginning of the story. A glimpse of a story that began with the first men to walk the earth. 3 tribes, or rather 4. Does anything look familiar there? And something else, he wrote. And he's looking up, and this appears to be an excavation site, something that's been kept preserved for a very long time. I was part of something bigger, something beyond my control, and I would do everything in my power to uncover what had been taken from me, the secret that stretched back to the dawn of my species, no matter what the cost. And so this, I think this is his research facility, and somehow he got that ship into his own facility, because look down there, a desk with a computer. And I'm just going to make sure I didn't skip over a page. Okay. Oh yeah, I know what's going on now. Now here's where I skipped over a page. Sorry about that. This is the Bat Jet, of course, flying across the Arctic Circle, then landing at the Fortress of Solitude, Batman's headquarters. Superman's headquarters. It says, "Clark, I know you're in there. Let me in." And you gotta love that. "I know you're in there. Let me in." But I love the way the artist drew the Fortress of Solitude, of how it's just so, appears to be so gigantic. And so Superman opens the door and says, "It wouldn't kill you to say please every now and then." And Batman says, "I think it actually might." So Batman's there for a specific reason. There's something he wants. And Clark senses it. Superman says, "What's wrong, Bruce? You look worried. Your heart's racing." "I'm fine." Of course, Batman would say that. But Superman knows differently, because he can hear the heartbeat and knows when a person is getting excited. He says, Bruce, Batman says, there's a room you gave me years ago deep under the fortress. I asked you never to look at what I put inside. And I never have, not once. I told you that the day would come when I would need to open that door, and I would have to walk through it alone. Bruce, if this is too big for you, I'm right here. You know that, don't you? I do. Thank you. I do. It won't be long now. I'm not trying to keep people away this time, I swear. That's not what I'm doing. I just need to understand what I'm looking at first. I've seen that door, Bruce. There's nothing from this world that could open it, Superman says, and look at his face. He is getting concerned, serious. And then who shows up? Mr. Miracle. I think that's why he called me. Because Mr. Miracle is an escape artist. He can get through anything. He can unlock doors that nothing can unlock. And he says, Mr. Miracle says, you built a secret room at the top of the world with one door and a lock that no human could ever unlock. What did you do to the key? And with a very straight face, I love this, Batman says, I shot it into the sun. He says, that's a joke, right? Right? And now you see Mr. Miracle's face is getting concerned. He is getting serious. And that's the lock that must have been a huge key. Batman says, can you open it? And he says, they don't call me Mr. Miracle for nothing. And so you can steadily see the progression of how the artwork is starting to get darker, and there's a reason for that. And so Mr. Miracle was able to unlock this door, and he says, Batman, that can't be what I think it is. You can't have been stupid enough to hold on to. Batman says with a straight face, thank you, Scott. That will be all, because Mr. Miracle's name is Scott Free. Batman, whatever has brought you here, you need to turn back now. That will be all, he says. And then Mr. Miracle uses a boom tube. B-O-O-M. Boom tube to get out of there, because he knows Batman's up to something and he doesn't want any part of it. And this is what we see on the inside. This weird I think it's a portal of some sort. And then we see more of the journal from Carter Hall. I wish I could go back to that moment and warn myself. I write this journal for anyone foolish enough to pick up my trail. Whatever you do, do not follow in my footsteps. Like a compass, Batman says. Computer, run all vibrational data through the tower. We should be able to track the exact dimensional frequency of the dark energy. Receiving data. It's time then. Time to see what's in the dark. And once and for all. So, curiosity is getting the better of Batman. And then back at the Batcave, we see Hal Jordan and Duke Thomas. They're still searching. And you can notice how the artwork has taken on a more darker tone here as well. In the Journal of Carter Hall, he says, I beg of you, whoever might be reading this, however many generations might have passed. Batman, what the hell have you gotten yourself into this time? Oh, I can tell you that, the voice says. Do not follow the mystery of the metals. This is a mystery that stretches back to the dawn of time. It's bigger than all of us, and it sure as hell is bigger than you. And if you recognize that figure there in the middle, that green hair, you know who that is. Some mysteries are best unsolved. Some doors best left unopened. You don't understand. All that was just a cruel joke. And Carter's journal says, because through them all you'll find is horror. You're just another couple of pieces in Batman's puzzle, just like me. Ha 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 ha! It's the Joker. Dark Days, The Forge. Written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV, Jim Lee, Andy Kubert on pencils. I can't pronounce that guy's name. So there's some really good people who worked on this. But even I don't have all the answers, and I can't give you all the answers. I have some of the answers, but I won't give them to you because, it wouldn't be right. But still, I've been following this event, and it leads me to wonder, what was the Joker doing down there to begin with? Or was that really the Joker? I don't know. Well, I think this was a really excellent book because it's a mystery, and it left me wondering, what's going to happen next. And I do have the next part, and I will do a review of that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this review, because I certainly did. I mean, this was Dark Days of the Forge. It's a great book. If you haven't got it yet, I highly recommend that you get it. It's been out a few months, but you still may be able to get it in print form. But if you can't, then you'll be able to get it digitally. Either way, please leave your comments down below. Did you like this issue, or did you not like it? Or what did you like about it, or what did you not like about it? Leave your comments below. And also, if you're not subscribed to Spirit Comics, please do subscribe. And hit and smash that bell like She-Hulk so you'll get all the notifications. Like and share the video as well. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you for taking the time to watch this new review. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, true readers.